Was it resisting?
Nope.
My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But no PC.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I understand. Just you're tensing your arms? That's madness. We have enough cases. Come on. No, I'm going to find no probable cause.
Say hello to Judge David Fleischer. He's a judge at the Harris County Criminal Court No. 5 in Houston, Texas. We've all seen firsthand just how corrupt judges can be, and how without question, they will always believe the word of a police officer. But not this judge. He believes in one word, the rule of law. And I feel bad for any corrupt cop or crooked prosecutor that thinks they're going to pull the wool over this judge's eyes. Resisting arrest is a notoriously dangerous charge to be charged with. Not only does it put a target on your back for any other police officer that might have an interaction with you, but it's normally the kiss of death when you go in front of a judge. Almost every time, judges will side with prosecution, sometimes without even hearing the argument in defense. And that's statistically how things go at probable cause hearings. The district attorney simply reads the case report, arrest report, and affidavit from the police officer. The defendant puts in a plea of not guilty, and they set the next court date. But Judge David Fleischer doesn't go by way of the norm. He wants to examine every probable cause hearing that comes before his court, because he knows historically that police officers don't always tell the truth. Today, Judge Fleischer hears a case for a defendant by the name of Mr. Thrasingham, who's been arrested for resisting arrest.
Hey, Carl.
Good morning,
Look who
Judge.
it is.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You look great.
Thank you, Judge. Well, I thought it was a little Christmas cheer and wear a little something bright.
Great.
It's probable cause, Your Honor, on Mr. He's offered.
Come on up, sir.
Stand here, like we spoke of.
Thrasingham.
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 Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. We're going to do probable cause. Just hang tight, please.
Officers were dispatched to a disturbance between the defendant and an Uber driver in Harris County, Texas. The officer stated that when he arrived, both parties were calm and smoking with one another.
That is normally not the first few lines you read on an arrest affidavit. Police arrive and the subjects were kind and cordial, smoking with one another. But that's because some people think that you, the viewers at home, have the ability to decide how a police interaction goes. Let me put this to you frank. You don't. The police officer decides how everything is going to go from their arrival to your booking. And it all depends on their feelings. And if they've had a nice day, if people have thanked them for their valued service, and if people have told them just how brave they are. If they haven't been thanked enough that day, you just could wind up in jail. Hopefully it's in front of Judge Fleischer when you get to court.
Officer stated that he saw that the defendant was intoxicated and asked whether the defendant's wife would come and get him. The defendant said his wife would. An officer made the decision to detain the defendant and take him to a sobering center.
Wait, what? Uber driver's happy. The defendant's happy. Defendant hasn't been driving, so he's allowed to be intoxicated. He's of age to consume an alcoholic beverage. He's riding passenger in a vehicle. And after everything has gone fantastically, with no issues whatsoever, the cops decide it's time to take this law-breaking vigilante to jail.
Officer asked defendant to put his hands behind his back, and defendant tensed his arms.
Judge, I know it's not, you don't argue.
Tensed his arms?
Judge,
Really?
Yeah, Judge, I know it's not time to argue probable cause, so I'd like
No.
to push it out a little bit.
I already got it.
Yeah, Judge.
I understand. Just you're tensing your arms? That's madness. We have enough cases. Come on. No, I'm going to find no probable cause.
When you're resisting arrest, first you have to have a lawful arrest effected to resist in the first place. No crime equals no arrest. And tensing is a normal reaction, especially when you know you've committed no crime, no one's alleged that you've committed a crime, everything's going great, and the next thing you know, some butt-hurt tyrant with a swollen vagina wants to take you to jail for no reason. Comes down to the age-old saying, though. You can beat the rap, but you can't always beat the ride. But when you wind up in Judge Fleischer's court, most of these cops regret making that ride happen in the first place. Let's head to the next case. Now this case is interesting. The defendant has a criminal history. And it turned out the defendant also had a warrant for his arrest. But that didn't even stop this judge from looking and inspecting every aspect of this case. Now, the man getting picked up on that warrant was contingent with the police detaining him and ultimately charging him with resisting arrest. Because he resisted arrest, his already existing probation was violated, putting this man at risk of going to jail for a very long time. And all this evidence hinged on the prosecutor telling the judge that the defendant resisted arrest and did so violently when a police officer was trying to place him into his vehicle for transport. However, the defense counsel begged the judge to watch the body cam, and very much to the prosecutor's dismay, the judge did just that.
You know, I guess if you wouldn't just put it right there and just turn it around.
Yeah,
Just right there on the table. Yeah, right there. You said it.
I'm just turning the volume up, Judge, as well.
He talking about don't let him pull up. They talking about I got a warrant out for Fort Bend County for assault. Look, he pushing me. Mama, record me. Mama, look, record him.
Now look at this prosecutor's face. She can't even maintain eye contact with the judge. She has to look in a completely opposite direction because she knows that right now she's about to get caught in her lies. Watch her face.
Now you're under arrest. I'm under arrest.
Yep, you got a new charge, Bubba. Resistant transport.
Resisting? I wasn't resisting.
You just resisted transport. Yep.
What the hell is that?
Now you got a new charge. Yep.
Come on.
Thank you, Judge.
Really? That's it?
That's it, Your Honor.
That's the relevant portion of defense is.
Oh, come on.
The officer is investigating a legitimate.
I know, but no. All right, I'm with
Do
you.
you see why I'm so upset, Your Honor?
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You can refile this as resisting.
Yeah, look, yeah, I mean, you're not going to hurt our feelings. You need to do what you need to do. Perhaps it was the wrong one, but yeah. Was it resisting?
Nope.
My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But no PC.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This judge is a shining example for all the other judges out there. When you get to your probable cause hearing or your arraignment, it shouldn't just be the DA reads what they perceive the facts of the case to be. The judge just blindly accepts it and the defendant is forced to enter a plea. There should be some weights and balances. The judge should actually examine the evidence to see if probable cause exists in the first place. But if all judges did what Judge Fleischer does, then they wouldn't be able to lock as many people up as they do, and they wouldn't be able to generate as much revenue. Now, Judge Fleischer isn't the unicorn. He's not the only judge that has stood up for a defendant. So we wanted to highlight some other cases, but it's so rare that in all of YouTube and the history of court videos being uploaded to YouTube, we were only able to find 2 other instances where a judge stuck up for a defendant. First, a judge realizes after sentencing somebody that the police officer had lied under oath and had perjured themselves. This resulted in the defendant losing their license and the ability to commute to work and take care of her family every day. Once the judge found this out, he asked if the prosecutor was going to null pros the case, meaning dismiss it outright, without the ability for it to be brought forward again. To the judge's and everyone else's surprise, the prosecutor stood fast behind this lying police officer. The judge ultimately acquitted the defendant of the original charges he had found her guilty on.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended for at least a few months for nothing. So are you going to null pros that case, or am I going to get mad at you today?
And in this next case, after being in jail for several days, a Louisiana judge finds out that this defendant wasn't allowed pants or personal feminine hygiene products. She got so upset she halted proceedings and jumped on the phone with the jail immediately.
This is outrageous. Is this for real? I have a defendant who has been in your all's jail for 3 days, who is standing in front of me completely pantsless, has no pants on. She has requested pants for 3 days and has been denied pants for 3 days. She has no pants and she is in court. And she has also been denied feminine hygiene products. What the hell is going on? Again, I want to extend my deepest apologies to you for the way that you've been treated while you've been in our jail. This is not normal. It is not normal, and I've never seen it happen.
There's a lot of girls up in fresh arrest that have on like similar clothes to what I had on, and they haven't given them a uniform.
I've already talked to 3 people from the Department of Corrections. I can't explain the situation. They have assured me that it was a mistake and that it won't happen again. But given the information that you're telling me, it makes me feel like that's probably not correct.
Check out Verdict Watch. The 2 videos we got of Judge Fleischer came from that channel. Tell him Accountability for All sent you. The most important thing I want to examine in this video is, do you really have a right to a fair trial? Because in my argument, the trial was born unfair. If you even get to a trial when you should have never got there, when at a probable cause hearing or arraignment, a judge should have actually looked at the probable cause and decided that the case didn't meet the burden to move forward. This is one of the huge problems with the American injustice system. But be thankful for small blessings, like Judge Fleischer, who doesn't judge a book by its cover. He's not interested in even reading the book. He's much more interested in what's right in front of him. And normally he sees that being a dirty cop. And that's the reason I stopped you today.